They kicked me out at 15. Now they want the guest house. I was 15 when my foster parents kicked me out with nothing but a trash bag full of clothes and a bruised ego. No warning, no fight, no teary farewell. Just a cold, "You'll thank us later," and the front door shutting in my face. They said they were doing me a favor, letting me sink or swim on my own so I could make something of myself. That morning, I didn't even get breakfast. What I did get was a crash course in survival. The first week, I slept behind the public library. Cold concrete and the distant buzz of streetlights were my new bedroom. I was scared, hungry, and alone, but weirdly at peace. No more 5 a.m. drills. No more lectures about how I was wasting my height. I hit 6 feet 3 inches by the time I was 12, and to them, that meant I was NBA bound. When I refused to chase the dream they picked for me, I became disposable, a failed investment. The first year on my own was brutal. I faked school enrollment records just to keep attending, showered at a gym, worked nights stocking shelves for just enough cash to scrape by, studied in empty lobbies and learned to live off vending machines. But I made a promise to myself. I wouldn't just survive, I'd win, and I did. By the end of that first year, my grades weren't just holding, they were top tier. One teacher, Mrs. Jones, noticed. She'd let me stay late in her classroom and never asked why I lingered long after everyone left. I think she knew, she just didn't make it weird. In my second year of high school, my physics teacher saw something in me and helped me get into early college courses. By 17, I was doing university-level work by day and janitorial work by night. I lived in a 24-hour computer lab, coding until my eyes burned. I made little machines from scrap, taught myself languages, and started turning heads among professors. Then came the hackathon that flipped the game. Our team won for optimizing urban traffic flow. But what blew people away wasn't the idea. It was that I built the entire backend on borrowed laptops and salvaged hardware. One of the judges, a VC named Chris, pulled me aside after the awards. When he found out I was homeless, he didn't throw me pity. He offered me a couch and an internship. The startup was tanking when I joined, but within 6 months, my code stabilized it. At 19, Chris made me CTO with equity. 2 years later, we sold the company. My cut? 8 figures. I checked the deposit from a seat inside the same public library I used to sleep behind. Yeah, it changed things. I bought a modest house, enrolled at MIT, graduated summa cum laude, started a new company. Life was good, but it wasn't complete until I met Fen. We crossed paths at a tech conference where I was speaking on ethical AI. She was smart, funny, and somehow cut straight through my polished surface. When I told her my story, she didn't flinch, just said, "You built yourself. That's extraordinary." We got married 2 years later in our backyard. No one from my side came, but her family welcomed me like I'd always been there. They taught me what real family looked like. Sunday dinners, soft hugs, conversations that didn't come with strings attached. Her parents called me son. I still tear up thinking about it. A few years later, we had our daughter, Lucy. She came out with Fen's eyes and my stubborn streak. Holding her in the hospital, I made a quiet promise. She'd never have to wonder if she was wanted, never feel like someone's discarded project. Fen and I built another company together, one focused on educational access for unhoused youth. By the time the 15-year mark rolled around since I'd been kicked out, we had 3 kids, 2 successful exits, and a nonprofit that had helped over 1,000 teens. Time called me the conscious face of tech. Forbes ran a full spread on our family and our mission. And then, last Tuesday, life pulled a twist I didn't see coming. I was flipping pancakes when the doorbell rang, checked the security cam, and froze. It was them, my foster parents, standing there with worn-out suitcases and that same entitled expression I remembered from 15 years ago. They walked in like they owned the place. My foster mom actually ran her hand along the walls like she was evaluating a property. "We knew you'd make us proud," she said, settling on the couch. "We expected NBA money, but tech works too." Then she added, like it was already decided, "We'll need the guest house. We're too old for that tiny place we're in." I swear I thought I misheard. Click the full story to see what happened next.